A whirlwind romance, two broken marriages, Madonna mix-up. Antonio Banderas was enamored with Melanie Griffith from the first moment he saw her. 8 years after their breakup, the former flames are one hell of a pair of exes. In today's video, we're diving into the almost 20-year-old love story, with all their ups and downs and in-betweens.
You know, Melanie is probably one of my best friends right now. It's a woman that I was married with for 20 years, but she is a dear friend of mine. I love her very much.
The love story between Melanie Griffith and Antonio Banderas begins in 1995 in the romantic comedy Too Much. The actor confessed that at first he thought that what he felt for the stunning blonde was an infatuation, the result of playing her lover on screen. But as time went on, he realized that it was more than that. Antonio had first caught sight of Melanie at the 1989 Academy Awards and was taken by her beauty. "I saw this beautiful woman with a cream dress with pearls," he recalled. Soon after asking Spanish director Pedro Almodovar who she was, Pedro said, "That's Melanie Griffith." I said, "That's it? Oh my God." When we worked together 6 years later, sparks flew like crazy. We just thought this may be one of those, infatuation moments that we have when we shoot movies, because we got to play together a couple. So let's just go home.
A beautiful program that he's doing it for, and it's a good thing all the way around.
Within a year, the future couple divorced their respective spouses. Griffith was married to Don Johnson, with whom she shared a daughter, Dakota, and Banderas to Spanish actor Ana Leza. Ana was a fellow actress and his English tutor, who essentially instructed him on how he could develop his craft in mainstream cinema. The actor said he wouldn't have the acclaim he does today without Ana's continuous support and direction. "Without her, I would not have gotten the role," he said. Ana backed up his statement by saying it was imperative to accompany him to the United States. However, Banderas took a brutal financial hit from his divorce with Leza, who received over $3 million in the settlement, $12,000 a month in alimony, and half of the rights to the movies he'd made during their marriage. To put it simply, it was a nasty, expensive divorce battle. Antonio didn't love the process, calling it a business through and through. He doesn't think he should have been mandated to give up so many assets. Yet it didn't put a damper on his future love endeavors. When she'd met Antonio, Melanie was on her second marriage to Don Johnson, whom she'd first married and divorced when she was just 19.
I don't think anybody really wants to hear about that right now.
I do.
Dear. Well, I don't think...
Oh, I do. I want to know. I mean, what's the matter? Scared of a few billion people out there, honey?
The couple had remarried in 1989 and welcomed their daughter that same year. Griffith was already a mother, having welcomed her first child, son Alexander, with her second husband, Stephen Bauer, to whom she was married for 8 years. Ana bitterly accused Melanie of stealing Antonio, but can you really steal someone's partner? The two were married in 1996 when their divorces were final. Soon after, Banderas landed a role in Madonna's musical Evita. The pop star had made no secret of her interest in Banderas, and Griffith insisted on accompanying her husband onto the film set every day until Madonna had her banned for being disruptive. 5 months pregnant when they took their vows, Melanie gave birth to their daughter Stella on September 24, 1996. "Melanie is more of a disciplinarian with the little girl than me," said Antonio of their distinct parenting styles. "Probably because it's my first baby. She gets everything easy from Papa. I am more weak. She takes advantage of me." The newlyweds found a way to spend even more time together with their joint venture Green Moon Productions. The new company produced Melanie's starring vehicle Crazy in Alabama in 1999, with Antonio behind the camera directing his wife. The couple's daughter Stella and Melanie's daughter Dakota had roles in the film as Melanie's on-screen children.
I want to say I'm so proud. I've said it so many times, it seems like it's not enough, but I am so proud.
A year later, Melanie had her husband's name tattooed onto her right arm, which was a genuine romantic gesture, of course. Sadly, it was also a year that saw problems for the couple. The couple welcomed their daughter, and it seemed as if Melanie had finally found the happiness and stability she craved. But former addictions returned to haunt the actress. Griffith had struggled with cocaine and alcohol addiction in the late 80s, but had gone into rehab after the filming of Working Girl ended. Unfortunately, she became addicted to prescription drugs after a knee injury in 2000. Melanie would later admit that her addiction placed a lot of pressure on her relationship with Antonio. "He's always been extremely supportive of me in situations where other people might have run away," Griffith revealed. However, Banderas admitted that he was at the end of his rope and that if Griffith hadn't kicked her addiction, he would have left her. She began to question her strength after a skiing accident required her to start taking painkillers. Recognizing that she may have a problem, she voluntarily sought professional help.
I don't think I should share right here, but I cried a lot. It made me really rethink my life.
It is perhaps because Melanie has seen the darker side of life that helping to alleviate the suffering of others is so important to her now. The blonde star and her ex-husband have put their energies into philanthropy over the years. "I think everybody who has done well out of life has to give something back," she says. "We have to share, and we have to help those who have nothing." In 2002, their dedication was recognized when the couple received the Stella Adler Angel Award for their extensive charity work. Always striving for new experiences, the couple set their sight on Broadway in 2003, each taking to the stage in critically acclaimed performances. Melanie made her debut playing Roxy in Chicago, while Antonio appeared across the street in 9. Griffith thought it would be a kick to work across the street from her husband. Despite doubts about her decision to appear in the musical, she received rave reviews. The New York Times proclaimed her a sensational Roxy, possibly the most convincing I have seen.
The name on everybody's lips is gonna be
Roxy. Living bi-Atlantically, the couple have created a safe haven for themselves and their family in Spain. Melanie and I have 2 lives, a professional one that we developed in Los Angeles, apart from which it's the city where Melanie was raised, and the other, more familial, in our house in Spain where we live when we don't work. Despite the doubts about their relationship, given their rush to the altar and the stress that Melanie's time in rehab brought to the family, the couple has made their bond last for years on end. "There were people who literally didn't give us more than 6 months," Antonio once said. "But we love each other, and above all, we love our family. We figured out how to get past obstacles. And if you get past those, you only get stronger." It was when in 2014, Griffith did not participate in Holy Week in Malaga, as was tradition and very important to Banderas. The rumors were confirmed, and the couple announced their breakup. The divorce was amicable, and the actors have been vocal in expressing their love and admiration for each other, despite the differences that led to the end of their 18-year marriage. Griffith revealed that she had been diagnosed with epilepsy in 2011, a condition that had since responded positively to treatment. According to the actor, her divorce had a positive impact on her condition. In 2021, Melanie became nostalgic and shared a beautiful image with Antonio and some loving words in Spanish with which he remembered his unforgettable love. The actor confirmed that there's no bad blood between him and his ex-wife. In fact, things between them are great. During an interview with Entertainment Tonight, Antonio admitted that he still has great respect and love for his Melanie. "I will love that woman until the day I die," he proudly stated. "Melanie is my dear friend, and she just texted me." He also said, following his nomination and loss for an Emmy for his role in Genius, "She was really sorry that I didn't win, so we're going to see each other this week because she's still my family and my kids." Well, as long as they both are happy and fulfilled. As always, thanks for choosing us. Spread the word, and don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell for more celebrity stories. And we'll be right back. Be well and be kind.